Hello, lecturer.
Okay, very good then. Okay, I think last week we have been through the so last week we have been through with the three foundation stones of um, the regional economic authority. Do you have any concern with the previous week topic? No concerns?
I have one, teacher.
Yes, please.
Could you explain economic concentration once again? I didn't quite catch it last week.
Economic concentration is quite similar to the economy of scales, meaning to say that when we decide which locations that we are going to settle down your production plans or your organizations, you need to look at to a certain thing whether we can have the economy of scale in that area or not, and yep, you can have that economy of scale in that area or not. Or how can I let me see why? Or do we need to have any separate plans if we settle down in that area? Meaning to say that do we need to have the fragmented production plant, or do we have just have a big plant in that area? Okay, that's what it constrains to the location decisions. Okay. Yep, that is the meaning of the original. Sorry, that is the meaning of the economic concentrations. Okay, is that good, Davin?
Teacher, could you explain the term constant return to scale? What does that mean?
The term
constant return to scale. What does that mean here?
A constant return to scales. The meaning is that when you increase, that is refer to a situations or refer to the conditions when you increase when you increase the numbers of productions, and then you realize that the production, he means the production input, and then the output will generate the same to you. For example, let me put this example for you. Your production function is subject to the two inputs. One is capital and another one is labor. Okay, there are two inputs for you. One is capital and another one is labor, and then your production function is subject to that input. The constant return to scale if you increase the numbers of input by the same proportion within the two inputs. Let's say 5% for the capital and another 5% for the labor, and then you expect that your output gonna increase by 5% too. Okay, that is called constant return to scale conditions. For example, I produce tables. Within 1 hour, I can produce 5 tables, for example, with a certain amount of labor and within a certain amount of capitals, because my productions of table depend on the labor and capitals. Okay, so if I increase the labor 5%, the input of labor 5%, and I increase the input of capital another 5%, and then I expect that my output gonna generate higher than the previous one by 5%. So that's what we call constant return to scales. Or you can look at this formula, not formula, that's the functional. Let me show you. Give me a where is the whiteboard? Davin, wait a second. I'm sharing you the whiteboard. Or maybe I can send you the Microsoft Word also, all right. Can you see my Microsoft Words?
Yeah, teacher.
Very good then. For example, that is why I represent my production, and then it is a function of capital and labor. Okay, that is what I suppose. Where y is production output and k is, sorry, that's not, and k is capital and L is labor. Okay, split this. Okay, and that is in order to produce the output, you need to have capital and labor, and then the constant return to scale. Constant return to scale, meaning to say that you increased with the factor z of your capital, okay, and you also increase the factor z of labor, okay, and then you expect that it's going to become like zy, sorry, zy. See that you increase factor z with capital, increase the factor z with labor, and then you expect to have the increase factor z as well here. Okay, that is equal. That is the condition of continuous time to scale. But if that is the increasing return to scales, or you can call this one as the economy of scales. That is the case out of this. When you have the production function the same, you have the factor k, and then you also have L, okay? But you include with the factor Z. But this one you also increase with the factor Z, increase the return to scale, not like this, it should be higher. See that, meaning to say that you increase 5% of the input, and then you realize that your output will produce more than 5%. And for the decreasing return to scale, we can call this one as this economy of scale. It equal to like this. You have white. You also suppose that you have the function the same, zk and zl. But this one you cannot have up to z. You have the lower one because you are decreasing the total scale. Okay. Is that clear, Darwin?
So here it means that capital and labor are adjusted, right, teacher?
Yeah, this one can be give further additional. You need to remember that for the yeah, that is the part of the long run trains. But when we discuss about this, there is the effects of the short run train. Okay, when you combine this together, you can have the long run train. Yeah, it could be adjusted. Capital and labor sometimes can be stagnant in the long run, but there's also some factors could increase the stock of capital and also can increase the stock of labor. For example, if you face that you already run out of your labor, the government might introduce some policy in terms of the birth rate. For example, if you have 2 child, you may have a reduction in taxes, for example. Like in China society, before the Chinese government afraid of over the population growth, and then the Chinese government introduced the one-child policy, meaning to say that all the couple cannot have. Yes, of course, you can have more than one child, but if you have the second child, you need to pay higher tax. Okay. So these can reduce the numbers of birth rates. Okay, And after that, the Chinese government also realized that it is time for us to increase the population back. So what the Chinese government does is that the Chinese government just say, okay, you can have more than one child, so the stock of labor is going to be increased, okay, if you compare to the certain period of times. So what I'm trying to tell you is here that even though in the long run, the capital and labor might be in the fixed terms, but there's still some of the policy that could boost the capitals and laborers to be having the higher stocks. Okay. Yep. So it's so in short, it adjusted. It could be adjusted. Okay. Is that all right?
It's constant return to scale. So also mean it's constant with the diminishing marginal return, is it?
The diminishing marginal return is always it is not a scenario. Need to remember that. Diminishing marginal return could be the cost. Yeah, it could be the cost of the this economy of scale. I would say this one also the same. Because that no, not the same meaning, but the cost of this economy of scale. Okay. Decreasing marginal returns because of the fixed input. Okay, in the short run, you would face the decreasing or diminishing marginal return, or you can call decreasing marginal returns, because you're facing the fixed input constraints. Yep. For example, if you're already trying to increase the numbers of the productions, and then with the small amount of the input, the fixed input, not small amount, the fixed input, and then what you are going to first is the how can I say this? Yeah, it's the no more capacity in terms of the fixed input. That's why you could not produce anything. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, teacher, thank you.
Yes, you're very welcome. Any other concerns about the previous sessions? Yes, yes, of course. Okay, if you don't have any questions, may I move to the next topic, or you can call it the next module for us for today's sessions. Actually, we are moving to the topic number 5, as I remember correctly. Let me share you my screen first. So for today is like this here. For today here is come to the line. Okay, for today's session, we are going to look at for the individual location decision. Okay, can you see my slide? I think yes, right? Here, this one is the individual location decision, and also the transfer course. But I don't think I can finish with this, so we start with the individual location decision first. Okay. So within this topic, we are going to look at the objective and procedures for the location choices. And we're also going to look at the location factors. And then after that, we look at the spatial pattern differential advantage in specific location factors. And lastly, we look at the location and series of the productions. Okay, so that is our menu for today. And I also would like you to have a quick look with the material that I sent to you last time here. Yep. So So our discussion is here individual location decision, okay, here. So like I talked to you earlier, you are going to look at this individual location decision. You are going to see with the level of the analysis and the location you need, okay, and then you're also going to see some of the objective procedure for the location choices that are discussed to you. What are the procedure and what are the objective when you choose the locations. And after that, you're also going to see the other material here, location factor, which are covered with the local input and output, and also some other demand here, okay? And this one is transferable input and output within this here. This one is important. Classification of the local factor. We have local input, local demand, and transfer input and outside demand, okay? So can I just request you to read this material around 15 or 20 minutes to have a better understanding what's going on with these modules? Hello, hello.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, very good then. Could you just please scan through this for around 15 or 20 minutes to have a better to have some of the ideas about this a little bit? Okay. Okay, so please take your time a little bit with this. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, like sure.
Okay. Have you finished, or you still need some more time? Okay, I'll give you another 10 minutes. Hello. Hello.
Hello, like
Okay. Um, okay. Let me introduce you some of the other tasks. I hope you have some understanding about the about the individual's location decisions. What I want you to do for maybe it is your homework list, yeah, the group work. Let me see by this way. Let me share you my screen first. Can I just check whether I already grouped you into 6 groups, right? Hello.
yes.
Very good then. So within your group assignment, just please working on this task also. That is the topic number 5, individual location decisions. There are several discussions here that I can plus it for you. That is the scenario that I designed for you all. Okay, we have 6 groups, so based on your understanding in terms of the materials that I said to you. And then for group 1, you may focus on this scenario, okay? Group 1, suppose that Pizza Hut company would like to expand more branches in Cambodia. So which location would you recommend to the Pizza Hut company, and why you recommend those areas for them? Okay. I think when if you get through the material very carefully, the individual decisions. Or let me give you a very quick addressing on this. Maybe you need me to access on this. I believe that if you look at very carefully the individual decisions, location decisions, the unit here very for two firms, okay? And they might be looking at the determinants. What are the determinants to influence for the location decisions? If you look at carefully, okay? And there are several factors. For example, you have seen that why the Singapore is the good country for the for the export and import. Why the Thailand is good for the tourism industry. Why Cambodia is also good at the agriculture industry to contribute economic growth. So there might be several factors to decide. There are several factors to influence on your decisions in terms of your locations. So the major response to the determinant is that the cost and benefit analysis. Okay. In this part, we look at only the firm perspective. So the firm will look at the cost and benefit analysis. For example, if I decided to settle my plans or my manufacturing production here or over there, what might be the good things or what might be the bad things. So that's why they need to have the cost and benefit analysis in this case. Okay. In the same thing to my scenario for you, I wish that you could have a discussions among your group members in terms of this company, okay? At the first group, you are going to look at for the fast food industry, the Pizza Hut company, which originally from the US. It opened some branches in Cambodia already, but if they request you or if they ask you to have if they ask you to have the other location that you would recommend them, so what are the location that you wish to recommend them? Remember that this one is just in terms of in Cambodia country only, but when you can do this, you also can scale it up to not only in the country, into the regional areas. For example, in the international company who wish to open the country, who wish to open the branches in the other country, what might be they need to look at, what might be the thing that they need to look at. Okay. So I hope that group 1 can go to the fast food industry, and group 2 can go to the closest industry, H&M's company. Okay, the same thing. Suppose that H&M company would like to open branches in Cambodia. Which location would you recommend, and why you recommend those areas? And after you finish, after group 1 finish with the fast food industry, group 2 with the closest industries, group 3 might be working on the 7-Elevens. This one is the small store or mart industry. Okay, so if 7-Eleven would like to open the branches too, this one I believe is also come from the US, I believe, originally. So which location do you recommend them to open? Okay. And after this, we also move to another fast food, that is the McDonald's. I think if you look at the history, of course, McDonald's used to be in Cambodia one time, and then it already back to the US. There might be some other regulatory issue or like regulatory matters happen inside that, okay? And then also ask you to look at the locations that you recommend them to open their store. Okay. And group 5, you just a little bit moving away from the fast food industry and the textile industry, but you focus on the ExxonMobil company. ExxonMobil company, that is the energy company, I would say in general. There's some fuels that they sell, there's some of the gases that they sell across the world. So if the ExxonMobil company would like to open the branches in Cambodia also, so which locations you recommend them to open? Okay. And last group, you need to focus on the financial institutions, that is the Citibank. Citibank is the very big bank in the US, as far as I know. And in the Southeast Asia, there's also several countries that Citibank decided to open their branches, such as Singapore, Malaysia, yeah, and also the South Korea also, I guess. Okay. So these are the financial institutions who recommend for wishing to open the branches in Cambodia. Okay. So what you are going to look at first, you need to study about the industry a little bit, and then you might also look at the particular company info or company profile, which area that you recommend them to open their branches. And then you need to explain your logics, or you need to explain your reasons why you decided to recommend those areas for them. Okay? Is that clear with the instructions?
Can you move back to group 2, sir?
Group 2, okay. Yeah, here group 2.
For group 2, open branches, you mean the store or the factory?
Yeah, that is very good questions. You're right. So this one is depends. This one is depend on your group members. Okay, I'm not strictly referred to the store. Okay, you might also be think about the plant or the factories. Okay, in Cambodia, so you can decide. You can choose either the store or the factory. Yeah. So this one is no limitation for you. Okay. It's that clear, so you can decide yourselves. You can decide among your group members. Yeah.
Like this group is based on the group that I've sent in Microsoft Team, right?
Yes, this group is the same as the assignment group, okay? Yeah. Dalia, right. This group is the same to the assignment group.
Got it. Like, thank you.
Very good, then thank you. Udam, you still have some doubts that you want me to clarify?
So we can choose either one, right, sir?
Yeah. Earlier I discussed to you, you can choose either one, even though the store or the factory, okay? You can choose either one.
Understand? I have to, sir.
You also need to remember that when you choose, for example, if you choose the factory, there might be something that gonna shape your location decision, okay? If you choose the store, there's also something else that can influence to the individual decisions, okay? Individual location decision, okay? That's what I can tell you right now. But like I discussed to you, the only major response that you need to look at is the cost and benefit analysis. That is the thing. Okay, and the criteria, there are several in the material already. For example, you may look at to the classification of location factors. You may look at, for example, if you wish to look at for the manufacturing or the plants, I mean the production plants in Cambodia, you may look at to the input term, right? Here, let me share you. That is the important thing that I already discussed to you. I don't know whether you remember this. Let me share you this. Here we go. Let me come to this here. There are the classification of location factors that you need to look at if you open the manufacturing or the plants. There's the local input that you need to look at, the local demands, and the transverse input factors, and also the outside demand factors. Okay. So that's why I'm just asking you. Sorry, I'm just emphasizing you that if you choose even though the store or the manufacturing, it can be happen in different natures. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Very good, then, Udam. Any other concerns? For the deadline of these tasks, you have 1 week to go, okay? And then at Dahlia, can you have me just create another folders in our Microsoft team, and the group members can drop it into the to the folders, and then next week you all can present your ideas in terms of those international company that I just raised to you earlier.
Okay, like sure. In case I not catch up, can you upload the discussion topic that you've just mentioned earlier into our Microsoft Teams so we can?
Yes, of course.
Yes.
I
Thank
will.
you.
I will upload this into the Microsoft Teams after we finish class. Okay, don't worry about that. Yeah, Dalia, don't worry about that. I will do it. Okay.
Yes. Like, thank you.
Yep. Thank you too. Anything else?
From my side, no.
Okay. Yeah.
Teacher, we write an essay about, right?
I don't. Yeah. I don't limit you to write an essay. It is still depend on your team members whether you wish to have it as this or not. Okay. But what I really want you to see is, what I really want you to focus is the logical or the reasons that you choose to explain. Okay, and that is what I want to say. So it's up to you. It could be the essay, or it could be or summary or literature review from somebody else. Okay, it's gonna be all right. So maybe around 1 or 2 pages. That should be enough, Davin. Yeah.
And we have to do slide for presentation too.
I don't. Yeah. Okay. Yes, it could be good if you can do that too. Yeah. What do you think? To me, it's okay if you want to use slide or you don't want. Okay, maybe let's say use slide. It is better. Then okay, you can design your two slides first, and then you can do it. Okay. Yeah.
Teacher, let me catch up. The five topic we have to present it next week, right?
Yeah, I hope that's yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Any other things?
So, which means that we only need to do slide presentation, right? We don't have to do any words.
You may write down a summary, or you may write down an essay for meeting. Okay.
Okay. So, to sum up, we have to have slide and also summarize about that topic, right? Like,
Okay. Yes. Right. Right.
okay, thanks.
Any other concerns? Okay. If there is no further concern, can I just close our discussion for today? Okay, yeah, can I just close our discussion now if you don't have any further concern?
Yes, like
Yeah, teacher. Yes.
Okay, very good then. So thank
thank
you
you,
so
like.
much for being patient waiting me for 1 hour. Okay, so okay, we are